Good afternoon, I'm Raine Musñgi. This is Newsfeed. It's the second day of filing of certificates of candidacy for next year's midterm polls. Our reporter Xandro Chona is at the COMELEC office in San Juan City for an update on the congressional filers. Xandro, go ahead.
Raine, only 5 congressional seat aspirants have so far submitted their certificates of candidacy. Former Malabon Mayor Antolin Oreta III led the hopefuls in filing their COCs early today. Manila 2nd District Representative Rolando Valeriano also filed his COC as he seeks a third term. Dr. Giselle Maceda also filed her COC. She plans to succeed her husband, Manila 4th District Representative Edward Maceda. And just after lunch, Manuel Luis Lopez filed his COC for 1st District Representative in Manila. Currently, the incumbent Caloocan Congressman, Representative Oka Malapitan, is undergoing the process in filing his candidacy. And it usually takes about less than 15 minutes before they get to finish filing their COCs, after which they have to sign an agreement in the wall, and the media would be given a chance to interview them. Raine?
Xandro, are you expecting any other personalities to be making a stop over there?
Well, we're getting a lot of information, but some of the candidates that we've received information since yesterday would have to yet to file their COCs. So as of now, we're taking it with a grain of salt and would just be waiting for them until they finally file for their COCs. Raine?
All right, thank you so much, Xandro Chona, reporting live from San Juan. Senator Grace Poe has filed a bill seeking to give Starlink Philippines a legislative franchise. While Starlink is already providing internet services in the country, Poe says the franchise will allow the company to construct, maintain, and operate satellite ground stations. So far, Starlink has more than 6,000 satellites, or half of all active satellites in orbit. Under the bill, Starlink will also be authorized to connect or demand connection of its telecommunication systems to other systems installed, operated, and maintained by other duly authorized persons or entities in the country. The Middle East may be on the brink of an all-out war as Iran fires a barrage of missiles into Israel. It's still unclear how Israel or its closest ally, the United States, would react, but Israel is already warning Iran of serious repercussions. Eugene Adalia with our top story.
Fears of a wider conflict in the Middle East setting in after Iran launched ballistic missiles against Israel. Iran says the assault came after a period of restraint and was in retaliation for Israel's incursion into Lebanon and its aggression in Gaza. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed 90% of the missiles hit their targets, including air and radar bases in Tel Aviv. As Iranians took to the streets of Tehran to celebrate, many others lined up to stock up on supplies like fuel as Israel vowed a sharp response to Iran's attack. Israel says Iran launched more than 180 missiles, most of them intercepted with the help from U.S. warships.
At my direction, the United States military actively supported the defense of Israel. Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
The White House says Iran's attack was brazen and unacceptable and urges every nation in the world to condemn it, a call Britain heeds.
We stand with Israel and we recognize her right to self-defense in the face of this aggression. Iran must stop these attacks, together with its proxies like Hezbollah. Iran has menaced the Middle East for far too long.
As Iran warns of more attacks if Israel retaliates, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Tehran made a big mistake and will pay for it. Eugene Adalia, DNC.
More world leaders rallying behind Israel in the wake of Iran's attack. European Union's top diplomat says the bloc is condemning Iran's actions in the strongest terms. Josep Borrell adds the cycle of attacks in the Middle East only fuels regional escalation. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also appealing for calm for the safety of civilians. For Germany's foreign minister, Iran's attack is driving the Middle East further into what she called the brink of the abyss. And UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says a ceasefire is absolutely needed to stop one escalation after the other. The crisis in the Middle East topping the points of discussion during the first and only vice presidential debate in the U.S. Democrat Tim Walz painting Vice President Kamala Harris as a steady leader who can handle the expanding conflict better. Donald Trump's running mate J.D. Vance, meanwhile, argues his boss made the world more secure during his presidency.
We've seen a calmness that is able to draw on the coalitions to bring them together. Understanding that our allies matter. When our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea, when we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed. And as the Vice President said today we will protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys.
But when Donald Trump was in office, it was Donald Trump who we had a coalition of nations that had boxed Iran's nuclear program in, the inability to advance it.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Raine Musñgi. Stay tuned to BNC on Free TV Channel 31, Channel 24 on Cignal, and on our website, bnc.ph. Thank you so much for watching.